guys? It's me again here at the end of the year. It's currently the day after Christmas, so I still got my Christmas lights up. But it is that time once again. It's my third in a row Blu-ray collection 2020. What a year, right? Talk about that for a while, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to get right into my collection. It's grown quite a bit since last year. I'm going to try to speed through it as quick as I can. Starting with my top shelf, which is in no particular order. Just got like certain collections together. First up, we got the MCU collection in chronological order, at least the way that we watch them. First up is Captain America, First Avenger. A very fun movie. Captain Marvel, it's okay. Heard some rumors that Brie Larson might be leaving the MCU or stepping down. I don't know. Rumors. Iron Man, the first, still probably one of the best. The Incredible Hulk, which a lot of people don't really consider part of the MCU, even though it is. It's okay. It works more as a Hulk movie than an MCU movie. Iron Man 2, Thor 1, which I like it less upon rewatches, but it's still pretty good. The first Avengers movie, still a lot of fun. Iron Man 3, a really good Shane Black movie. Not so much Iron Man movie though. Thor: The Dark World, definitely one of the weaker ones. It's not like the worst movie ever made, but it's bottom tier MCU for sure. Captain America: Winter Soldier, on the other hand, is very much top tier MCU. It was my favorite for a long time. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, a little Rocket Raccoon slip. And keeping with that theme, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 with another Rocket and Groot slip cover. Then we got Avengers: Age of Ultron, which is probably my least favorite Avengers movie. That being said, though, it still has a lot of great moments in it. Then we got Ant-Man, who I think is probably the most underrated Avenger. Let me know what you think. My sniffles have returned for another video. There's a lot of dust on these guys because I haven't been able to watch a lot of them since we moved into a new house. I'm in a new house, by the way, if you couldn't tell. It's a different location. Captain America: Civil War is definitely one of my favorites. And then Spider-Man: Homecoming, not introducing, but giving Spider-Man his first solo outing in the MCU. Black Panther, which, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, makes this movie a lot more emotionally rich, just knowing that he's no longer with us. Doctor Strange, I think, is kind of underrated. My wife doesn't really like this one as much, but I think the fight scenes especially are really, really cool. Thor: Ragnarok is probably my favorite solo MCU movie. I could rewatch that movie every day and never get sick of it. Avengers: Infinity War is definitely... I can't choose between this and Endgame, so I just kind of put them both at the top spot of my favorite MCU movies. And then I put Ant-Man and the Wasp between those two because I feel like it's a good filler between Infinity War and Endgame. Speaking of which, Avengers Endgame. For a 3-hour movie, every time I watch that, it never feels 3 hours long. And then Spider-Man: Far From Home. One of my favorite Spider-Man movies. Upon several rewatches, I think this movie improves significantly. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but this is my video, so I can say what I want to. We got a bunch of collections here. First up, we got the Alien Anthology. And in the past 2 years, no, I have still not watched Alien 3 or Alien Resurrection. I will one day, probably. Prometheus. Not horrible, not great either. Alien Isolation, kind of the same. Not horrible, but not great. It's Ridley Scott directed, so at least it looks really good. And of course, the Back to the Future trilogy. I don't know if I've said this before, but I once watched all these... Actually, the first time I watched those movies, I watched all 3 of them in one sitting. And I didn't start watching them until like midnight, so I was up pretty much till the sun came up. Then we got the Die Hard collection, Die Hard 1 through 4. I do not own the 5th one because I've just never really wanted to watch it and didn't care enough to seek it out. Alright, now we got the Harry Potter movies. We got Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. A great introduction. Love it. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. A little weaker, a little bit too long in a lot of parts. Even the non-extended edition is really long. But I still like it. Prisoner of Azkaban. Probably my favorite one. Incredible movie. Goblet of Fire. A good one. It's got some weird stuff in it that doesn't quite sit well with me. Especially the Ron, Harry fight in the middle of the movie. Just like, come on, Ron, you're being a jerk. Order of the Phoenix, I think, is probably one of the better ones. Especially that ending fight with Dumbledore and Voldemort. Half-Blood Prince is one that I have liked more and more upon rewatches. I used to not like it as much. Deathly Hallows Part 1, the movie that infamously started the 2-part finale trend in Hollywood. And Deathly Hallows Part 2, probably my second favorite. This and Azkaban are they kind of like flip-flop for me. Alright, then we got what might be my grand opus of my collection so far, and that is the Lord of the Rings Extended Trilogy. I once watched these all in one sitting too, and it literally took the entire day. And then I went ahead and picked up the theatrical versions as well, mainly because the first 2 movies I feel like work better on their theatrical cuts. I still like the extended cuts though. And then we got the Hobbit trilogy. We got Unexpected Journey, Desolation of Smaug, which is definitely the best one if you ask me, and the Battle of the Five Armies. I recently rewatched these this past year. Well, you know what? They're not that bad. They're not near as good as Lord of the Rings, but what was ever going to be as good as Lord of the Rings? All right, now we got the Star Wars collection. Got the original, or not the original, the prequel trilogy. Put these in order of how we watched them as well. Then we got Solo, which I think is a good movie, and I don't care what you say. Then we got Rogue One, which is my second favorite, probably, of all the Star Wars movies. And we got the original trilogy. Empire is always going to be my favorite. But yeah, the original trilogy. What else can you say about these movies? And then everyone's favorite movies right now to crap on. We got The Force Awakens. We got The Last Jedi. And we've got everyone's favorite movie to talk about right now, The Rise of Skywalker. Yes, I own them all. Yes, I enjoy them all. Okay, now we got the Digibooks and Digipacks with some other random Blu-rays sprinkled in there. We got the original Aladdin. Yeah, it's Aladdin, what can you say? And then we got the remake, live action remake, which is not horrible. It's not all that great either, but it's not horrible. Then we got Batman v Superman, which I have not watched this in a long time. That warehouse scene with Batman, though, I do feel like watching that one part sometimes. Then we got the animated Beauty and the Beast, one of my wife's favorite movies. And then we got the live action Beauty and the Beast, which I can't tell if she's ever talking about this one or this one, but she says it's her favorite. I think they're both equally her favorite, maybe. Then we got Blade Runner, the original. I need to start picking some of these up on 4K. Then we got Blade Runner 2049. Excuse me. I don't know why that was such a big sniff, which I think is actually better than the original Blade Runner. And I know that's not a very unpopular opinion. Then we got Fantastic Mr. Fox. I don't know why I was starting with the B sound. Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I have still not watched Ghostbusters 2, but I will one day. I know I keep saying that every year. It's just going to be the same movies that I'm like, I will watch that one day, and then I don't. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Love David Fincher, one of my favorite directors. And continuing with that trend as well, Gone Girl. Great movie. And we got Goodfellas, one of my favorite movies of all time. One of the quintessential gangster movies from ever. Then we got Schindler's List. A very hard to watch, but very worthwhile movie. Silence of the Lambs. Social Network. Which I never understood the packaging with this. Because it had like a slip on it that I got rid of for some reason. And then it got this. But then inside is this. I don't know. It's definitely unique. And last but not least, Taxi Driver. Alright, moving right along with the numerically / alphabetically ordered movies. Alright, first up, 10 Cloverfield Lane. Great movie. Well, great. Great's an overstatement. It's a good movie. 10 Things I Hate About You. R.I.P. Heath Ledger. Legendary performance. 12 Years a Slave. 127 Hours. James Franco proving to the world he can act. 1917, one that I watched for the first time this year from last year, and I really liked it. I watched it twice, and I liked it better the second time. 21 and 22, Jump Street. Really funny movies. Surprised me and a lot of people when they came out. 28 Days Later, one of the best zombie movies ever made. 310 to Yuma. 300. Sorry, I'm trying to go through these quickly. 50-50. I might do a separate video about this movie because I have so much to say about it, but man, this movie just gets me every time. 500 Days of Summer, About Time. Very interesting take on the romantic genre. The Accountant, Ben Affleck being all kinds of badass. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and When Nature Calls. Jim Carrey at his most Jim Carrey-ness. Air Force One. Love me some Harrison Ford. Alice in Wonderland, the animated. Never the live action. Do not care to watch that ever again. Almost Famous. American Beauty. American Gangster. Once again, all the American movies popping up. American History X. Very relevant movie for today's times, I would say. American Hustle. My hair is getting in my eyes. American Psycho. Maybe Christian Bale's best performance. American Sniper. Animal Kingdom. Annihilation. Which I think is still kind of underrated. Not a lot of people talk about Annihilation. Apocalypse Now. No, I've still not watched it. I know. Apocalypto, which I just picked up. I want to watch this, but apparently there's like a big thing with the subtitles where it's like you can only either watch it without subtitles or with like the hearing impaired subtitles, which is like, like birds chirping, music plays. So I reached out to the Blu-ray company and they're sending me another copy, but they've yet to send any sort of confirmation of if or when it's shipping, so I'm still waiting on that. But I can't wait to check it out. Apollo 13, forgot the number. Aquaman. I know there's a big whole thing going on the internet right now about Aquaman 2, Amber Heard. And I agree with that because I'm very saddened by what's happening to Johnny Depp. But that being said, I still really enjoyed Aquaman. Argo, making Ben Affleck another Oscar winner. Arrival, The Art of Self-Defense, kind of an underrated one from last year. Jesse Eisenberg's awesome in it. Arthur Christmas, me and my wife just watched this one, actually on Christmas Eve, so 2 days ago. Attack the Block, before John Boyega was in Star Wars. The Aviator, when Leonardo was on his upswing as a promising actor. The Babadook. I like it. I know I don't like it as much. I don't like it as much as a lot of people do, but I still like it. Baby Driver. Bad Words. Pretty kind of a not an overlooked comedy. I think it's really funny. Bambi, classic. Okay, we're getting into the Batman movies. Batman, the original, great movie. Batman Returns. My mind just went blank. Batman Returns. Wow. Batman Forever. Everyone's favorite one, I've probably said this a million times. Batman and Robin. I don't care what you say about that movie. It is comedy gold, and it never gets old. That rhymed. Batman Assault on Arkham. I don't own too many of the animated DC movies, but that one's one that I like a lot. I think this should have been what the live-action Suicide Squad movie should have been like. Anyway, Batman Begins. There's actually a Batman Begins poster right up there, which you can't see it, but here. There it is. Oh, and there's Tenet and Harry Potter. Now I messed up the camera angle. Wow, the camera angle is going to be different. I hope that's okay with everybody. The Dark Knight. And The Dark Knight Rises. This has actually become my least favorite Christopher Nolan movie. That being said, I still really like all three of those. Batman The Dark Knight Returns, Part 1 and 2. Probably my favorite animated Batman movie. I know a lot of people, it's Mask of Phantasm. Speaking of which, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Great movie on its own right. I like the other one better. Just a little bit. Batman Under the Red Hood. I recently played through Arkham Knight for the first time on PS4. And I saw the twist coming a long way away. Mainly because of this. Batman Year One. Last Batman movie. Okay. A Beautiful Mind. Russell Crowe. Beetlejuice. Great movie. Begin Again, Better Living Through Chemistry, Big Hero 6, The Big Lebowski, one of the best comedies, The Big Short, Big Trouble in Little China, classic cheesy Kurt Russell, Birdman. I've heard people don't like that movie as much nowadays. I don't know why. It's great. Black Hawk Down, Black Klansman. I really like John David Washington in this, and he solidified that he's a great actor for me in Tenet. Black Mass. Johnny Depp gives a great performance in that. Black Swan. People say Natalie Portman can't act because of the prequels, Star Wars prequels, but Black Swan is my retort to that. Blade. I almost dropped it. Blade. And Blade 2. I'm excited for the new Blade with Mahershala Ali, whatever that looks like. The Blind Side. Blood Diamond. Blood Father. Pretty good Mel Gibson movie if you haven't seen it. Blow. Blue Valentine. Do not watch that on Valentine's Day with your significant other. Will not go well. Bohemian Rhapsody, which I still think is a good movie. Oh. Bone Tomahawk. Wow, that movie was something else. Book of Eli, which I still think is a good movie. Bottle Rocket, and Wes Anderson's first movie. Born Identity, Born Supremacy, and The Bourne Ultimatum. Those are the only Bourne movies that I care about. Boyhood. I was gonna say something about Boyhood, but I think enough's been said about that movie. Brave, not my favorite Pixar movie. Braveheart, on the other hand, is one of my favorite movies ever. Brawl at Cell Block 99. Vince Vaughn in that movie, really good. Breakfast at Tiffany's. I think I might get rid of this movie. Me and my wife watched it, and I just didn't care for it. I know it's classic, it's Audrey Hepburn, whatever, but just not my thing. And she said she didn't care if I got rid of it. So, Breakfast Club, maybe my favorite John Hughes movie. Bridesmaids, just watched this one recently for the first time, and it's pretty funny. Bridge of Spies, Bridge to Terabithia, will make anyone cry. I stand by that. Bring It On, hilarious movie. I don't care what you say. Bronson. This is the best showcase for Tom Hardy's acting ability that I've ever seen. Brothers, another movie that I use that movie as a retort when people say Tobey Maguire can't act. Like, have you seen Brothers? Bruce Almighty, A Bug's Life, Bumblebee, and also the first Transformers movie. These are the only two Transformers movies that I care to own. This one's okay. It's it's the best of the original Transformers series, but this one, Bumblebee, really surprised me with how much I enjoyed it, and I just love Haley Steinfeld. Buried, good showcase for Ryan Reynolds' acting ability. Cabin in the Woods, The Cable Guy. That one finally came back out on Blu-ray. Cape Fear, Captain Fantastic, Captain Phillips, Casino, classic Scorsese, Casino Royale, and Skyfall, the only two Bond movies that I own. Castaway, Catch Me If You Can, which actually is a pretty good Christmas movie. I didn't really think about that till recently, but it's very festive, if that makes sense. Chef, Children of Men, Christmas Vacation, Chronicle, and the last in this pile, Cinderella, the original. All right, moving right along. Cinderella, the live action. Picking up where we left off. Cinderella Man. Am I closer? I can't remember. I'm sorry if there's continuity weirdness with this. I gotta like pause and get movies down. Anyway, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
You've been meatballed.
Cloverfield. One of the OG found footage movies. Besides Blair Witch, I know about that one, obviously. Clue, the movie. No one really. There was never really much hype in like board game movies back then, but Clue is like how you do it right, I think. Coco, great Pixar movie. Collateral. Colossal, very strange movie. The Conjuring 1 and 2. I like them both about the same. They're not like that great, if you ask me. There are other horror movies that I consider a lot better. Constantine. I would love to see a sequel to this with Keanu Reeves. Oh man. Cool Runnings. Count of Monte Cristo. Crawl. Pretty good movie. I liked it. Crazy Stupid Love, which I love obviously because of Ryan Gosling. Dallas Buyers Club. Darkman. Date Night. The Day After Tomorrow. Little Jake Gyllenhaal in there. Daybreakers. Kind of an underrated vampire movie. I apologize too if I say things that I've said in other Blu-ray collection videos. I don't remember what I've said. I guess my thoughts are just pretty constant about these. Anyway, Dazed and Confused. Alright. Dead Poet Society. Great movie. Deadpool and Deadpool 2. The unrated cut. What am I saying? Defiance. Deepwater Horizon. The Departed, a great movie. The Descendants. Despicable Me. It's the only one I have. It's the only one I care to have. Dinosaur. I don't know how many times I watched that movie growing up. I wore that VHS out. The Disaster Artist. District 9. Whatever happened to Neil Blomkamp? He was like on a roll. He did that. He did Elysium. Then he did Chappie. And then all of a sudden he's like, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. Just curious. Disturbia. Django Unchained. Actually was the very first Quentin Tarantino movie I ever saw. 2012 was kind of when I started getting into film more, like, seriously. Donnie Brasco. Good old Johnny Depp and Al Pacino. Donnie Darko. Dragged Across Concrete. I think I watched this for the first time this year, finally. And it's really good. S. Craig Zahler, he's a director to watch out for, I'm telling you. Dread. Still sad we never got a sequel to that as well. My favorite movie of all time, which you all know, Drive. Finally showed this to my wife and some of my in-laws, and they liked it. They obviously didn't like it as much as I did, but I didn't expect them to. The Drop. Give me some Tom Hardy. Due Date, aka Planes, Trains, and Automobiles updated. Dunkirk. Good old Chris Nolan. E.T. Gotta own it. Eastern Promises. Kind of an overlooked movie. Viggo Mortensen's awesome in it. Easy A. Love me some Emma Stone. Ed Wood. I'm telling you, watching all these like old Tim Burton, Johnny Depp movies just makes me even more sad about what's happening to him, because he's just such a great actor. Edge of 17. One of my favorite more recent teen high school movies. Edge of Tomorrow. Ignore this. It's called Edge of Tomorrow, okay? It's called Edge of Tomorrow. Just saying. Eddie the Eagle. Edward Scissorhands. I can't decide. This and Sweeney Todd, for some reason. I can't decide which one's my favorite Tim Burton movie. 8th Grade. Very impressive directorial debut from Bo Burnham. Election. Wow. So a lot you could say about that movie and what happened this past year. I'm not going to. Elf, classic Christmas. Elysium, another Neil Blomkamp. Emperor's New Groove, and I guess Kronk's New Groove as well. Who cares about that one? Enchanted, fun movie. End of the Tour. I probably said this last time, but underrated. Go watch it. You'll love it. End of Watch. Great movie. Enemy. If you can wrap your head around it, it's pretty intriguing to watch. Equilibrium. Good old Christian Bale before he was Batman. Escape from New York. Everest. Ex Machina. Okay. Fantastic Beasts and Crimes of Grindelwald. I was like holding out hope that they would like redeem the redeem the series, and like I was excited to see where it was going. I might get rid of these honestly, because after seeing what they're doing to Johnny Depp, I don't know if I can support this series anymore. Just it already wasn't that great. Like the first movie was okay. Crimes of Grindelwald was like but I was like okay, I'm at least intrigued to see what they do with it. But now it's just like, well, no, we're gonna recast Johnny Depp because we're stupid. Fargo. Sorry for that little rant. Father of the Bride, Part 1 and 2. Grew up with those movies. Love them. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Classic. Fight Club. Amazing. The Fighter. Finally got Christian Bale an Oscar. Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. I like both these movies, but Finding Nemo is most definitely superior. Finding Neverland, really great movie. And First Man, I've only watched this once. I will rewatch it again someday. It's just haven't gotten around to it. First Reformed, watched this for the first time. If you watched my last vlog video, it's intriguing. Still kind of processing it, honestly. Flight, no Denzel. Flushed Away. I remember seeing that in the theaters with my dad. Forrest Gump. Obviously got to have that one. The Founder. Showed this to my wife recently. She really liked it. And I do too, obviously. The Fountain. The Fracture. Not The Fracture. Just Fracture. Freaky Friday. I've watched this movie so many times. Can't even tell you how many. Frozen. And we recently got Frozen 2. Frozen's good. Frozen 2 is like, it kind of felt more like a made-for-TV movie, if I'm being honest. The Fugitive. Good old Harrison. Fury. War movie, a more recent war movie that gets better every time I watch it. I love that movie. Galaxy Quest. Freaking awesome. The Game. Game Night. Gangs of New York. Gattaca. I don't know why it's fun to say. Get Out. It's a good movie. Get Smart. The Gift. A little overlooked movie. Check it out. It's a good thriller. Gladiator. Another one of my favorites. Glory. The Godfather Part 1 and 2. Eventually I do want to get Part 3. Never seen it. I've heard it's one of those, like, it's not as good as the first two, but it's only because the first two are, like, classics and masterpieces, whatever. Godzilla and Godzilla King of the Monsters. To be honest, I kind of enjoy these both on the same level. The first movie is definitely better directed, but there's so little of Godzilla that it's like, okay, it's kind of boring sometimes. Godzilla King of the Monsters, like, quadrupled down on the monsters and Godzilla stuff, but it also was not as well directed, and the story was kind of like, but they're fun dumb monster movies, if you ask me. Gone Baby Gone. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Little Deadpool slip. There's Clint Eastwood. The Good Dinosaur. Good Morning Vietnam. The cat has made her appearance. She's attempting to knock down the stacks. There she is. Good Will Hunting. A Goofy movie. I rewatched this recently again this year. Man, talk about nostalgia bomb. The Goonies. Never Say Die. Goosebumps. Fun little Halloween movie to watch, if you ask me. Gran Torino. Grand Budapest Hotel. Maybe my favorite Wes Anderson movie. I still haven't seen Isle of Dogs, which I don't know why, I just haven't. And Gravity. Greatest Showman. Great little musical. Green Book. Green Mile. I'm out of breath because getting up and moving these movies is kind of exhausting. I'm not that old, but I feel old. Green Room. Great little thriller. Gremlins. The Gray. Groundhog Day. One of my more recent pickups. Which I've seen it before. I just never got around to getting it. The Guest. One of my favorite Halloween movies to watch every year. Hacksaw Ridge. Halloween and Halloween. I never grew up with watching Halloween movies. And so these are the only two I've ever really seen. I mean, I've seen like parts 4 and 5 and some of those other ones on TV. Didn't really care about them. Hateful Eight. Heat. Classic. Heavyweights. Maybe one of my favorite Ben Stiller performances, honestly. Hell or High Water. Hellboy. And Hellboy 2. Still not gotten around to watching Hellboy 2. I know. Her. Hercules. Hereditary. Yeah, still processing that movie for sure. Still, 2 also. What am I saying? History of Violence. Holes. Classic. Sploosh. Home Alone 1 and 2. I definitely watch Home Alone 1 every year, every Christmas. Home Alone 2 is kind of like, I could do without it once a year or a couple years or something. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Hook. Love Hook. Horrible Bosses. It's okay. I got it for like $3 at a gas station. Hot Fuzz. Hot Rod. Love Hot Rod. Hotel Transylvania. I don't know any of the sequels because I just don't. How to Train Your Dragon 1, 2, and The Hidden World. I like all 3 of these. The first one's probably still my favorite one. Jesse's family, my wife Jesse's family, loves to hate on How to Train Your Dragon 2 because they think it's too dark. Which is actually, I think, a lot of the reason people like that one. I don't know. I like all 3 of them, though. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Jim Carrey version. Hugo. The Hunger Games. Catching Fire. Mockingjay Part 1. And Mockingjay Part 2. I recently read the books for the first time this year, and while I don't think you should have to read the books to enjoy the movies, I will say, having read the books, I do appreciate the movies more, especially the last 2. Though I still think it should have just been one movie. Yeah. Anyway. The Hunt. Hunt for the Wilder People. I heard or saw that Taika Waititi's getting his own Star Wars movie. We're watching The Mandalorian, and we just saw some of the episodes that he directed, and I'm all for it, man. The Hurt Locker. I Am Legend. I Love You, Man. The Ides of March. In Bruges. Hilarious movie. I love it. Inception. One of my favorites. Gotta own it. The Incredibles and The Incredibles 2. I like both of these. Independence Day. America. Indiana Jones. Actually, this is just called Raiders of the Lost Ark. Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom, and Indiana Jones The Last Crusade. I think probably The Last Crusade is my favorite. And of course I don't own Crystal Skull because who wants to own that movie? Inglourious Bastards. Maybe my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. Not sure. Inside Out. I'm excited to watch Soul. Just came out on Disney Plus. Haven't checked it out just yet. Insidious. Just the first one. Insomnia. A lot of people are saying like this is Christopher Nolan's weakest movie. I'm like, have you actually seen the movie though? It's really good. It's just not. It's very like conventional compared to all his other movies, but it's still a really good movie. Anyway, speaking of Christopher Nolan, Interstellar. Love that movie. Into the Woods. Still haven't seen it. Probably never will. Probably gonna get rid of it, to be honest. Invisible Man. One of the only releases of 2020 theatrically, and I really enjoyed it. I thought Elizabeth Moss was really, really good in it. You see, I had to look. Remember what her name was. The Iron Giant. Love that movie. It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2. I rewatched these again this year for Halloween, and I definitely can see why people have issues with It Chapter 2. I'm not blind to them, but I still enjoy that movie nonetheless. It's a Wonderful Life. Classic. Jack Reacher. Not the second one, though. Jaws. Jerry Maguire. Jingle All the Way. I watched this with Jessie. At the end of the movie, she just goes, "Wow, that was horrible." She's not wrong, but it's so much fun. Jojo Rabbit. A really great movie from last year. Joker. Oh, man. What a movie. Love it. Alright. John Wick 1. Maybe my favorite movie, like action movie from last decade.
You serious?
Well, that's not true. Because Mad Max Fury Road is actually my favorite. So scatterbrained right now. Anyway, John Wick Chapter 2, and John Wick Chapter 3. All three of these are great. But the first John Wick is my favorite. Jumanji. Welcome to the Jungle. I still haven't seen the new one. The Jungle Book animated and the Jungle Book live action. If the new Lion King was directed the way that the Jungle Book was, it would have been a lot better, I think. I can talk about that forever. Juno. Jurassic Park. The Lost World, which I still think is a good movie. I don't know why people don't like that as much. Jurassic World. And Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Not the greatest movie, but I'm intrigued to see where the next movie goes. Hopefully it's good. Justice League Doom. Justice League Flashpoint Paradox. One of the best animated DC movies I've seen. Justice League War. Justice League Dark. Remember when I was saying I don't own that many animated ones? Guess I was wrong. And I don't own the actual live-action Justice League movie because I don't like it. Kick-Ass. Didn't like Kick-Ass 2 that much, so I got rid of it. The Kid Who Would Be King. Pretty good movie. Kill Bill 1 and 2. Killer Inside Me. I might get rid of this movie too because it's very uncomfortable. And when I say get rid of, I don't mean throw out. I'll sell them or I'll trade them in for something else. I'm not just gonna throw away movies. Are you kidding me? King Arthur. I like that movie a lot. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. It's all right. It's a lot better than people give it credit for. King Kong. King of Comedy. The King's Speech. The Kingdom. Kingdom of Heaven. Director's cut is severely overlooked, I think. Kingsman: The Secret Service and Kingsman: The Golden Circle. The King's Man obviously was delayed this year, but I'm excited for that one. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Great movie. The Knight's Tale. Fun times. Knives Out. You know, it seems like a lot of people were afraid to give Rian Johnson credit for this movie after The Last Jedi. Man, one of my favorites from last year, that's for sure. Kong Skull Island. Krampus. Kung Fu Panda 1, 2, and 3. Solid little trilogy. I can't decide if the first one or the second one's my favorite, but anyway. LA Confidential, and La La Land. Lars and the Real Girl. And the Real Girl, I don't know why I said it like that. The Last Samurai. I recently played through, if I can get it, Ghost of Tsushima on PS4. And I couldn't help but be reminded of how great this movie is. Great game, though. This isn't a game video, though. Anyway, Lawless. Lego movie. Great little animated flick, as well as a Lego Batman movie. I don't know any of the other Lego movies, just because I don't need reasons. Leon the Professional. A Lethal Weapon 1 through 4. Liar Liar. Plants for Hire. Any SpongeBob fans out there?
Liar, liar, plants for hire.
Life finds a way. Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. Probably my favorite movie from last year for sure. The Lighthouse. What an incredible movie. Wow. I can say a lot about it. Lincoln. The Lion King. The only Lion King there is. Very bitter about that new one still. A Little Miss Sunshine. They're making a sequel to it, or like a prequel to it, but they're not making the prequel to the animated version. They're making it to the newer version. I'm just like, but why? Little Mermaid. Little Rascals. Walk. Very interesting movie. Logan Lucky. Lone Survivor. Looper. I think that was the last movie Rian Johnson did before he did Star Wars, actually. Lord of War. Macbeth. The Machinist. Mad Max. Pretty good, pretty good. The Road Warrior. Excellent. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. It's okay. And this is my actual favorite action movie from last decade. Mad Max Fury Road. I'm so mad it's not getting a sequel. At least it doesn't seem like it is. Alright, up next we got Madagascar. Madagascar 2. And Madagascar 3. You know what? All three of these movies are pretty fun. That's all I need to be to me. I'm not that hard to please sometimes. Magnificent Seven. The remake. Man of Steel. I want a sequel to Man of Steel, and I'm not talking about Batman v Superman. I'm talking about like an actual just sequel to Man of Steel, where it's about Superman and no one else. That's what I want. The Martian, because I think Man of Steel is still really good. Mask of Zorro. Master and Commander. Far Side of the World. Matchstick Men. The Matrix, one of my favorite movies. And you know what? Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions are not horrible. I definitely prefer Reloaded over Revolutions, but you know, they're not ones that I love rewatching or anything. The Maze Runner, we've still not watched or picked up the other two Maze Runner movies, but we want to. Just haven't done it yet. Mean Girls. I can say a lot about Mean Girls. It's just amazing. Mean Streets. Meet the Parents. Memento. I mean, this wasn't actually Chris Nolan's first movie, but it was the first movie that really kind of like boosted his career, I think. And it's incredible. You can see a lot of Tenet, a lot of the ideas for Tenet in this movie, for sure. All right, Men in Black, Men in Black 2, Men in Black 3. Don't have the new one, don't want to have it. Middlemen, movie that I had never heard of until my coworker let me borrow that, or he bought it for me actually. Midnight Special, Midsummer. It's yeah, that's a movie to watch. The Mighty Ducks and D2. The Mighty Ducks. I don't have the third one yet, just because I haven't gotten around to getting it, but I like it. Minority Report. Les Miserables. Misery. Okay, here we go. I have to do all these. Mission Impossible 1. Good movie. Mission Impossible 2. Kind of a misfire. Mission Impossible 3. Back on the right track. Ghost Protocol. Probably still my favorite one. Amazing. Rogue Nation. Really good. And Fallout. Almost as good as Ghost Protocol. Probably my second favorite. All, well, with the exception of 2, these are all great movies. Moana. Moneyball. Raymond Holt's favorite movie from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, if you didn't know.
The statistical analysis. It's so beautiful.
Monsters, Inc. Monsters University. Moon. Overlooked. Watch it. Great movie. Moonlight. The movie that stole Best Picture from La La Land. Not really, but it's just because, yeah. If you know, you know. Moonrise Kingdom. Mortal Kombat. One of the best video game movies ever. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Doubtfire. Watching movies like Mrs. Doubtfire just makes me miss Robert Williams so much more. Mud. Mulan. And Mulan 2, I guess. I haven't seen the new one. I know it's free on Disney Plus right now, I think. I just don't think I want to watch it, though. The Mummy. And The Mummy Returns. The only 2 Mummy movies I have. Munich. One of Spielberg's most mature movies, for sure. Muppets Christmas Carol. Oh, man. Love that movie. My Cousin Vinny. Another little Deadpool slip. There's Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei. Mystery Men. I like Mystery Men. Natural Born Killers. Neighbors. Don't have Neighbors 2. Haven't watched it. Maybe I will one day. The Nice Guys. One of the best of last decade, if you ask me. The Night Before. Fun little modern Christmas movie. Nightcrawler. Movie that should have won Jake Gyllenhaal an Oscar. Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare on Elm Street. No Country for Old Men. Nocturnal Animals. Non-Stop. I love these little fun, like, simple action movies with Liam Neeson. The Notebook. Yes, because of Ryan Gosling. Ocean's 11. Didn't care for 12 or 13, honestly. Oculus. Office Space. Another Deadpool slip. There we can see, what's his name again? Anyway, the stapler guy. I haven't seen the movie that many times, but I do really like it. It's funny. Oliver and Company. Trying to get all the Disney movies at some point. Olympus Has Fallen. I don't have either of the other movies because don't really want to. Once Upon a Time in America. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I really like this cover. Oh, it looks so old school Hollywood. 1 Hour Photo. Only God Forgives. Only the Brave. Over the Hedge. I really like this movie. I don't know why, I just like it a lot. Oz, the Great and Powerful. Pacific Rim. Not the sequel. Didn't watch it. Don't really want to. The Page Master. The Page Master. Pan's Labyrinth. Parasites. I'm really glad this won Best Picture. I would have preferred if Lighthouse won, but it wasn't even nominated. And the one thing it was nominated for didn't even win. So it's okay though. Parasite's awesome. Paratrap. Passengers. Patterson. A really fun little showcase for Adam Driver's acting chops, I think. The Patriot. Classic. Patriots Day. Peanut Butter Falcon. One of my favorites from last year. I think Shia LaBeouf is excellent in this. As well as Honey Boy, but I'm so mad that didn't come out on Blu-ray. The Peanuts movie. Perks of Being a Wallflower. One of my favorite high school movies of recent years. Is 8 years even recent anymore? I don't know. All right, guys, we're getting close to the end here. Okay, still can't talk. Pet Sematary, the remake. Peter Pan, the animated version, and my preferred version, the live action. Yeah, I like reminding everyone that that's a controversial opinion. But is it really? Because I feel like a lot of people say they like that movie. I don't know. Pete's Dragon, the remake, the live action. Pinocchio. Apparently there's going to be a new Pinocchio. I don't know. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Still my favorite one. One of my favorite action-adventure movies. Dead Man's Chest, actually a pretty fun sequel. At World's End, not as good as the first two, but still a fun way to close out the original trilogy. Stranger Tides, it's okay. Dead Men Tell No Tales, definitely the weakest one, but it did kind of tie up the whole Will Elizabeth story arc a little nicely. What am I even saying anymore? Why do you guys watch my videos? The Place Beyond the Pines. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. R.I.P. John Candy. Platoon. Pocahontas and Pocahontas 2, I guess. A lot of these Disney movies only come in 2-packs. Point Break. Not the remake. Does anyone even remember that movie anymore? Ugh. Polar Express. Classic. Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping. I really wish they let them keep the original title for this, which is Connor for Real. But other than that, I think this is a really funny movie. I think Lonely Island is just some of the funniest guys ever. Power Rangers. I heard they're finally making a sequel to this. I hope that's true. Predator. And Predators. I don't know Predator 2 or The Predator because I don't want to. Predestination. Kind of an overlooked sci-fi movie. Check that one out. Prestige. Classic Chris Nolan. Finally got this movie. I was so excited that it finally came out on Blu-ray. Pretty in Pink. This movie is like so 80s. I love it. It's the best. Pretty Woman. Yeah. Prince of Egypt. I don't care what religious background you have or if you have no religious background at all. This movie is incredible. Incredible. Princess Bride. Come on, it's The Princess Bride. You gotta love it. Prisoners, one of my favorite movies ever. The Proposal. It's funny. Proposition, kind of an overlooked Western movie. Pulp Fiction. It's Pulp Fiction. I always think of Abed from Community now when I look at that cover. Just the birthday party they're throwing in. Puss in Boots. Fun little movie. Quiet Place. Oh man, like with this, the second part was just about to come out, and then they shut everything down. Ugh, I want to see it so bad. Raging Bull. Hopefully we will be able to see it soon. The Raid Redemption and The Raid 2. Both incredible action movies. Rain Man. Rango. Again, another Johnny Depp movie that just makes me mad. Ratatouille. I'm sorry if I mentioned that too many times, but it really is bothering me. Ready Player One. I know the sequel to the book just came out, so I'm curious to see if they will adapt that into a movie as well. I enjoyed it. Remember the Titans. Requiem for a Dream. Reservoir Dogs. The Revenant. One of the first movies I saw with my wife when we were dating. Not the best date movie. The Ringer. Rise of the Guardians. I like to watch that one around Christmas time. Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Really good movie. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Another really good movie. And in my opinion, the best one, War for the Planet of the Apes. This is such a solid trilogy. One of the best modern trilogies we have, I think. The Road. So depressing. Road to Perdition. Probably one of my favorites. Robin Hood, Men in Tights. One of the only Mel Brooks movies I own. I want to get Spaceballs and some other of his movies, but Robin Hood, Men in Tights is the only one I watched a lot when I was little. RoboCop. The cat is back. Oh, now she's leaving. The Rocky collection. I don't have Creed 2, which you'll see. But I have all these, and I have the first Creed. I've heard Creed 2 is actually really good. I just haven't picked it up yet. Room. I watched this for the first time recently, and wow, how did I miss this movie? This movie is amazing. So good. Say what you want about Brie Larson, but her performance in that movie, incredible. The Rover. The Royal Tenenbaums. Rush. That's another movie people are like, it's not that great anymore. Like, but it is. Why would you say that? Rushmore. Oh, really? She's got stuff to say now. The Sandlot. The Santa Claus. Don't know the other two. Saving Mr. Banks. I don't own Mary Poppins, and I'll tell you why. I liked it, but it's not nostalgic for me, and it's very slow moving, if you ask me. Anyway, I know that's probably not going to make a lot of people happy. Saving Private Ryan. Now all of a sudden Lydia wants to be all up in the video. Say Anything. School of Rock. Best Jack Black movie for sure. Scott Pilgrim versus the World, one of my favorite movies. Gets better every time I watch it. Scream. I did watch Scream 2. It was okay. I didn't like it as much. I was going to watch Scream 3 and Scream 4 this year. But I just decided, you know what? I don't really want to, so I'm not going to. Secret Window. 7. 7 Psychopaths. One of my favorite movies from last decade, actually. The Shallows. I still haven't seen The Meg. I keep hearing mixed things about it. Shape of Water. Shaun of the Dead. Shawshank Redemption. Gotta have it. One of my favorites. Shazam. This is probably my favorite DCEU movie. I just love it. Sherlock Holmes and Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. I think they're making the third one. That's one of those like rumors I hear things about, then I stop hearing about it, and then I hear it again. I don't know. The Shining. I picked this one up early this year. Doctor Sleep, which I think is a great movie. I think a lot of people slept on this movie. It did not get the credit it deserved. And we got Shrek and Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is one of the movies I have rewatched probably the most out of all these movies. Shutter Island. Sicario. And Sicario, Day of Soldado. I think this is a worthy sequel, but definitely not on the same level as the first movie, if you ask me. Sideways. Fun little rom-com. Signs. Silence. Definitely one of the more like contemplative Martin Scorsese movies. I really liked it. Silver Linings Playbook. Sin City. I don't have the sequel. Maybe I will at some point. Sing Street. One of the most underrated, overlooked movies from last decade. Not enough people have seen this or are talking about it. 16 Candles. The Sixth Sense. Finally got Sleeping Beauty. Been looking for this for a while. Sleepy Hollow. Slumdog Millionaire. All I can think of is The Office. When Michael and Holly do that sketch. Anyway. Snatch. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Snowpiercer. Sonic the Hedgehog. I like this a lot more than my wife did. Mainly because I think Jim Carrey is just having a ball with the Dr. Robotnik role. And it's just fun. I grew up playing Sonic, so it's maybe that's why I liked it more than she did. Source Code. Southpaw. Space Jam. I think they're making a sequel with LeBron James. Maybe. I don't know. Spectacular Now. I recently watched that one this year, and I really enjoyed it. Speed. Ooh, I have so much love for these movies. Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 3. These three movies are such a big part of my childhood. And a lot of people, I feel like, who are adults now, grew up watching these movies and just love them so much.
Pizza time.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I'm excited we're getting another one of these. I really like the character of Miles Morales, and I'm interested to see more from him. I recently played through the new Miles Morales video game, and I really like that. SpongeBob SquarePants, the movie, and Sponge Out of Water, because I love SpongeBob. What can you say? Alright, we're on the last little stretch here. Thank you for sticking with me for this long. Hope you've enjoyed it. Here we go. Spotlight. Spy. My cat does not like me talking this loud. Stand By Me. A Star Is Born. Who knew Lady Gaga could actually act? Star Trek. First one. Well, not the first one, but the first of the new ones. Star Trek Into Darkness. And I finally completed my reviews of these on my vlog videos. Star Trek Beyond. I like all three of these movies. First one's definitely the best one, though. Step Brothers. Funny. Steve Jobs. Stranger Than Fiction. Surprisingly a deep movie for Will Ferrell. Stronger. Sunshine. A really good sci-fi movie. I recently picked this one up, Super. I'd missed this one somehow 10 years ago. But I actually really liked it. It's definitely not for everybody, but I liked it a lot. Superbad. Sweeney Todd. I finally showed my wife this one because I know she loves musicals, and she really liked it. Even with all the violence, she doesn't always do that well with violence, but she stuck through it and she really liked it. Swiss Army Man. Sword in the Stone. Taken. The only Taken movie I will ever watch again or own. Tangled. I can't believe Tangled is 10 years old now. Isn't that weird? Tarzan. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. The only Ninja Turtles movies I care to own. Oh, and here, this is kind of a big thing. My very first 4K Blu-ray. Tenet just came out. I'm really excited to finally have a 4K movie. It kind of started to future-proof my collection. And I really liked Tenet. I don't think it's Chris Nolan's best movie, but I think it's one of his better ones, if you ask me. Me and my brother, me and my wife, both really liked it. But yeah, I'm excited to start picking up some more 4K movies in the future. You guys hear that? She's just running around for no reason. The Terminal. Okay, moving on. Terminator. And Terminator 2. I don't really care for any of the other ones. That Thing You Do. Great movie. There Will Be Blood. Gotta have it. The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. Three Amigos. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Some of these titles, I'm like, did you have to make them that long? Titanic, my wife's least favorite movie. Tombstone. The Town. Toy Story 1. Toy Story 2. Toy Story 3. And Toy Story 4. I think all 4 of these movies are some of the best animated movies ever made. The fact that they have 4 of these right now and they're all this good is kind of insane. Training Day. Treasure Planet. More people should watch that movie. Trick or Treat, my favorite Halloween movie for sure. Tropic Thunder. Troy. True Romance. True Grit. I think it was actually the first Coen Brothers movie I saw. The Truman Show, one of my favorites. Love Jim Carrey in that. Unbreakable. Split. And Glass. I know not a lot of people were a fan of Glass. I liked it. I don't want to have much else to say about it, but I liked all three of those. Uncle Buck. Again, R.I.P. John Candy. You're a gem. Under the Skin. Very strange movie. Unforgiven. Unknown to Unstoppable. The Untouchables. Up. Upgrade. Kind of overlooked from a couple years ago. The Upside. Recently finally watched this one. It was fun. I liked it. Not fun. That's the wrong word. It was very heartwarming. But it wasn't like anything more than just kind of surface level stuff, if you ask me. Us. A good follow-up to Get Out. The Usual Suspects. V for Vendetta. Venom. It's good enough. I liked it. The Voices. Kind of an overlooked Ryan Reynolds movie. Very dark, but funny. Walk Among Tombstones. Wall-E. Classic. War of the Worlds. Warrior. Man. Another one from last decade that did not get as much credit as it deserved. Watchmen. Haven't seen the TV show, but I've heard it's good. The Way, Way Back. It's becoming one of my favorite movies, actually. I don't know why. Wayne's World. We Bought a Zoo. The Wedding Singer. What We Do in the Shadows. Whiplash. One of my favorites. White Christmas. Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Wind River. Great movie. Winter's Bone. The Witch. The Wolf of Wall Street. Great movie. Wonder Woman. We just watched the new Wonder Woman yesterday on HBO Max. It's fine. It's a good enough sequel, I guess, but I kind of felt the way I did about Birds of Prey. It was like, it was good, but it was not as good as I think it should have been or could have been. World War Z. The World's End. I love all the Cornetto trilogy. I think they're amazing. Wreck-It Ralph. And Ralph Breaks the Internet. The Wrestler. X-Men. Classic. I love that movie. X-Men 2. Probably still my favorite of all of them. X-Men The Last Stand. You know, it's frustrating, but I still think overall it's okay. X-Men Origins Wolverine, on the other hand, is pretty awful. Why do I own it? Because I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. That's why. X-Men First Class. The redemption story. The Wolverine. I had these in the order they were released, I think. X-Men Days of Future Past. A very close second, I think, for the original X-Men series. For my favorites. I really like this one. X-Men Apocalypse. Not the best, but not the worst either. X-Men Dark Phoenix. I think the main problem with this movie is that it's just not fun. It's like not fun to watch. They like... Remember when all the X-Men movies used to just be a lot of fun? I feel like Dark Phoenix just kind of lost that sense to it. It's not the worst superhero movie ever made, but it's not that great either. On the other hand, though, my favorite of all the X-Men movies, even though it's not part of the main franchise, is absolutely Logan. Oh, gee, man. What a high note to go out on as Wolverine. We'll miss you, Jackman. Hopefully you'll come back to do some cameos or something. Yes, Man. Zathura. Little Josh Hutcherson. Hutcherson's really fun to watch in that. Zodiac. Zombieland. And I did finally pick up Zombieland Double Tap. And last but not least, Zootopia. That concludes my Blu-ray collection. There are some over here. I've got some Breaking Bad seasons, some Stranger Things seasons, True Detective. I got The Office and Parks and Rec on DVD. But that's it. Those are my Blu-rays. Thank you for joining me for another year. I don't know how many Blu-rays I got since last year. Hopefully it was enough to justify this video. But you guys seem to really like these videos, so I'm going to keep making them every year. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Hopefully I'll put out more videos this next year. Hopefully this next year is just better all around for everybody. But Merry late Christmas and Happy New Year. See you guys in the next video.